When I think of mountains, mountains like the Eiger, the Swiss Alps are certainly on my mind. When I was a kid, I had a picture in an old fireplace in my bedroom when I was about 6 years old. And it turns out that it was the Eiger. And I feel like for a lot of years, that iconic picture has always been widely associated with big mountains. When I saw the Eiger Ultra Trail, I just knew that was a race that I had to do to get to these mountains and try to move in them as fast and efficiently as I can on these trails within a race is something that really excites me. So to be able to explore 101 kilometers of them in one day with such amazing panoramic views is going to be a really special day. The course looks like it was just made for an ultra race. The mountains spectacular, the views spectacular, the trails unbelievable. And the climbing is certainly going to be a good challenge out there. So I'm expecting it to be a pretty hard day. Definitely going to be really competitive. There's lots of really strong runners in the race. Runners like Pau Capel, Jason Schlaub, Seth Swanson.
In the world there are so many trail running events. Why did you choose the Eiger Ultra Trail?
I think the answer is just in front of us. It's just such an incredible landscape. Obviously amazing mountains and just looked like a challenging race. I'm really excited to give it a go.
Wish you a good race.
Yeah, thank you. I can't wait. Thank you very much.
Yeah, here, bye.
So my training focus leading into this race has been a little bit different from my previous race, Ultra Trail Australia. This race is a lot more climbing, a lot more vertical, so that's been an aspect I've really been building into my training. Doing lots of repeats on lots of steep trails, getting the climbing legs nice and strong, so focusing a bit more on some strength work there as well as just making sure that overall I'm feeling good, I'm feeling healthy, I'm ready for the fight on race day. It's gonna be competitive, and that's always a big draw for me whenever I enter any of these Ultra Trail World Tour races. And that's why I like to take part in them. I want to be able to come to these amazing, scenic, incredible parts of the world that otherwise I might not get the opportunity to travel to, or maybe I wouldn't travel to necessarily. But also to be able to put myself in a position with runners that I know are just that extra few levels perhaps above me, but that I hope to be able to be as close to on the day and to really draw the best out of myself competitively, physically and mentally, and test myself in the limits. The course is going to be testing, but then the racing aspect is obviously a big test of that as well. And to be able to put yourself up against the best in the sport is always a great way just to know that you're going to get the most out of yourself on the day and go across that line and feel like I've had the best race that I wanted to have.
Schlag Jason!
The heat, people hate the heat.
Feeling good, struggling. Just gotta keep pushing on.
Seriously, like, it's fun guys that are climbing up the roller coaster. Yeah, keep it up, Adrian. It's still got a long way to go, right? Enjoy it.
That was tough. Oh man, that was really hard. The heat made it so hard as well. It's like I just passed two guys, and I think they were just struggling with the heat. So the race went really well. It was really challenging, really tough as expected. From the start, the pace felt quite quick. Took me a little while to find my mountain legs, but once I really got into the flow of everything, I found myself settled in quite nicely with a good little group. I managed to kind of pull away on my own, ended up sticking around in that kind of top 10, flown back and forwards a few places here and there for a lot of the race. It was a challenging day out there for everyone. It was really hot, really exposed in some places, some really intense sunlight. So it was a big challenge for all, I guess, to manage fluids and hydration, but I thought I managed that pretty well and never felt like I had a major energy low. But I was struggling a little bit on some of the technical downhills, some of the rockier terrain that I just don't get the practice of, which is a bit different here compared to what I'm usually training on out in Southeast Asia. So definitely feel like that's an area for me to work on. But I managed to keep myself moving well throughout the day, just a nice, consistent, steady effort, managed my body quite well, just paced it well, and then in the last 20k or so I managed to make up a couple extra places and came 7th overall. The views were just incredible, really mind-blowing. If you asked anyone to create a trail race, this is probably something far beyond what they could really dream up. If you weren't looking at sharp mountain peaks and obviously such an iconic wall as the Eiger, you were looking at glaciers, you were looking down at clear blue lakes. It was just so scenic, it was just unbelievable. It didn't seem real at some parts of the course. It kind of just blew my mind a little bit, and I'm sure everyone else that was running.
The winner of the Eiger Ultra Trail 2018. Sie 13 Stunden, 49 Minuten und 6 Sekunden und er 11 Stunden, 24 Minuten 38. Ladies and gentlemen, go crazy for Katrin Götz und Pau Capel!
Moving forward now, I'm definitely excited to be able to spend the next 6 weeks or so in Chamonix to be training up for CCC. I think this race was definitely a fantastic experience for me to be able to get back into the long, tough mountain climbing on these difficult courses, work on my downhill skills again, get more confident on rocky terrain, and just to be able to have time in incredible mountains and big peaks, and to be able to just work on developing myself as a runner, which is always the goal.